Nice. Can you hear me?
I can.
Great to see you.
Great to see you too. It's been a few years.
It's been a while. It's been a while.
Yes, when I saw the new promotion came out, I was like, "Yep, sign me up." It was
Right.
before I even pressed play, but I already knew that I was gonna like it.
That's great. You look great.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
How
Um,
do you how do you feel? Are you okay? Everything's nice in your life?
yes, yeah, everything's good. How about with you?
Very good, very good. I'm older. I have gray hair now here in my in my beard.
Hey, you know what? Not everybody gets the opportunity to get older, and so I embrace
Yeah.
it. I definitely got some in my hair too.
Yeah, it is what it is. I'm happy about that, and my wife digs it, so it's okay.
There you go. Then that's a win.
Yes. Okay,
Oh,
well, thank you very much for this interview. I was so happy. I was checking all the interviews for today, and you are the first one. And I
oh,
saw
cool.
Nika. I was like, very good. I'm so happy to see her again.
Oh, thank you. I was really excited to see that it was going to be with you again too. I was going over our last interview, and that was before I was doing videos, and so I just was reading through it, and I had already remembered that I had so much fun chatting with you. So I was like, oh, good, it's going to be Carlos again.
Great, great.
So
Okay, so let's.
yeah,
Yeah.
you have just a little bit over a week from tomorrow, right? Before the album comes out. I guess I don't know what time it is over there. Is it tomorrow?
Yes, yeah, it's already here. But we have had the album for some months with us. Like we recorded the whole thing in summer.
Oh,
It was
okay.
like July. So for us, it's like old stuff. It's crazy. You know what happened? We've been preparing for the next tour, and we were rehearsing one of the songs that is not out yet. And I
Oh,
remember playing it, and I was thinking to myself, "Ah, it's a pity that people is not really digging this song because I think it's very nice." And then I realized like the album is not even out there. So
yes. Oh my
crazy.
gosh. That's funny.
Getting old.
You're doing part one, so I'm assuming part two is coming up. Have you guys already recorded part two? Have you started that process yet?
Not yet, but the album, the EP, is also a conceptual thing. We like to work with concepts, and the concept behind lingua ignora is kind of thick, and we thought that to do it in two parts was the least, and we are really curious about the fact that we can maybe do the second part after a full album and see how we evolve from part one.
Yeah,
So
I
yeah, it
like
was a
that.
beautiful thing, a creative thing, like let's do this in two parts and in time, and if we are lucky enough to be able to do more music, we'll see the difference.
Yeah, that's smart. I like that. Um, so yeah, let me figure out which direction I want to go first here. You have a new vocalist, and you've released one song with the new vocalist. How has that process been, and what were your thoughts going into releasing One Word, knowing that the fan base you've already had was, gonna be have words, even though they've been pretty much positive.
Yes, I mean the vocalist thing has been huge thing for us because as we discussed the last time, we live in a really small country and we are
Mhm.
definitely a bunch of friends playing together for a long time. When Mark, the last vocalist, he started having some struggles in his life, personal life. He told us he needed to focus on the family for a while, and that was when we were like, okay, do your thing because family is first, and there, of course, the band is very important for us, but there's other things that are more important. And then we said to him, do your thing, we will try to keep going, because we have a lot of tours lined up and we needed to.
Mm, mhm.
So some friend of us told us about Danny, and Danny was a replacement in the beginning, just to help us to do the tours. He did such a beautiful and crazy good job, but yeah, it was weird, because he
Yeah.
didn't know his place yet, and we were
Mhm.
happy. But at the end of the day, like long story short, Mark tried definitely to come back, but life sometimes is difficult, and then
Yeah.
we had to, you know, be mature about it. Like he has to you know, focus on the family. And
Hmm.
then Danny did a great job, not only as a vocalist but also as a human being with us. He's very young, but he's always happy to learn and happy to work, and a very talented guy. So it was an easy process once everything you know, happened. And then One Word is the first time he recorded and sing something for Persephone, and people
Wow.
so far is really digging it,
Hmm.
and we are happy for him because he was very nervous. He was like, I don't know if people will like it. Apparently, yes.
Yes. Well, so were you nervous going into it, or were you pretty confident knowing that he already had the
No,
skills?
I mean, I was very confident about his skills, but as always, not that confident about the music.
Yeah.
But the vocal parts were beautiful, and I knew that. But of course, we talk about that, like the psychology of the musician. We are insecure by nature, so everything you do, we are never like happy about it.
Right, right. So is he, I figured he was young because I was looking through your guys's different Spotify playlists and thinking, gosh, everybody's musical taste outside of the band is so different, but his definitely has the newer bands on it. So I thought, I'll bet he's a younger guy, but I hadn't looked into his age.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I do agree.
So before we had talked about how you guys do even the lyrical parts of Persephone as a group, I know some people have been concerned about if the lyrical content's going to change because it's a new vocalist, because sometimes that happens with bands. But you guys operate differently, and obviously it hasn't changed. I as always go through the lyrics because I love your guys' lyrical content. This
Yeah.
one seems a lot about growth and about coming together as one. um
Yes.
I love the philosophy of the band. It's one of my favorite things. What how has he come in to your guys's philosophical part of the band? Does he complement that as well, or because he's young, is that still something that's a little bit new for him?
I mean, before we worked with him, apparently he knew the band before, and he was kind of a fan of the band before. So he was aware of the topics we were about to talk at the time. So by the time we started thinking on the new material, and he was already in, it was we started talking about that. I think on the New Oblivious Caris tour, and he's a really like educated guy, and you know, is a very smart guy. And then what he did was try to sit down with me. Well, Carlos, do you have a moment? Yes. Can you explain me about the concept, the next concept? Can you explain me how you do these things? He's really like trying to get in without being too harsh, and he's asking questions all the time. And he did a good job by helping with the lyrics on this EP, because we went through a really complicated personal moments when writing, personal things, you know, like Mo now has adopted a kid, and it was like a crazy thing for him. So I had to work a lot alone, and then Danny was there to say, okay, I can help, whatever you want, and he did, definitely very professional, and always very open to listen to, you know, and learn how this band operates, and yeah, so far, very smart guy, very nice guy.
That's awesome. Last time we had talked, you were getting ready to go back to school for psychology or had just started. I can't remember if you were getting ready
Yes,
to or just
yes.
started. How has that process been? Are you done at this point, or are you
Very
still
bad,
going?
very bad. Because
Mm.
I started, I did. I started studying, very happy. It was a beautiful moment for me. Again, reality sometimes. You know? And then the first of the second test I had to pass. Uh, it was by the time I was touring with Obscura. And I remember I talked with the guys in the university. I cannot go. Can you move that down? They were no. And then it was like incompatible with these years of touring. So I talked with my wife. I was like, I will wait for a moment, because I have waited for a long time. Let's stop again. Let's do the whole thing with the band, and then after that, hopefully, I will be able to sit down in a library and do my education properly. But yeah, it's in my to-do list. What about you?
You know what? I wondered when you had said that. I was like, how is he going to add that in the mix of everything else? But I was like, hey, with sometimes you're able to figure it out. But that was a lot on your plate for
That was now.
all at
Now I'm like
once.
laughing about it a little bit with you because it's. But at the time, I felt so bad because
No.
Danny actually he's a psychologist himself.
Oh, how funny.
So we when we met each other for the first time, we talked about that a lot. And he was like, I can help you. I can help you with books I have and
Mm,
anything you need. And I was like, nice, because now I will have someone that is actually doing the thing I want to do. And that was way the first day we rehearsed together. But then we had the Obscura tour going on. We had to write the EP, and then we went to Latin America, and then we went to the New Caries, and then we had to prepare this. So at some point, I was like, "It's not possible." And then he asked
yeah.
me about that. How are you doing with the studies? I was so ashamed, like I
Oh
had
no.
to stop again, But
You
that will
just had
happen.
too much. Yeah, you put too much on your plate all at the same time, which we all tend
Yeah.
to do at times, and that's nothing to be like ashamed of by any
But I
means.
will do it. The time that we will have an interview, I know in the future, and I will tell you, I'm doing great. It's gonna happen. It's
Oh, I
happening.
have no doubt. I have no doubt, especially
It's
with
happening.
having someone who knows the subject. I mean, it helps to be able to have that extra like education outside of education to help with bringing it all together because you only get a
Yeah.
certain amount of time, in the actual schooling part of it. So,
Definitely, definitely. And adulting is very complicated when you want to do all this stuff. In
yeah.
my teen years, I just wanted to play guitar, and I didn't want to study that much. And now I play a lot of guitar, but I want to study. It's gonna
Yeah, isn't
happen.
it funny how that works? I don't know. I mean, if you didn't do that, then we probably wouldn't have Persephone. So I selfishly am glad that you chose it that way.
Thank you, thank you. I mean, I guess thank you. I don't know. I mean, we are having this beautiful moment. We feel very grateful about it. I mean, the stuff we are experiencing as friends and as a band, being able to travel the world, meet people through interviews or whatever. I always tell the guys that someday this will stop forever. I mean,
Mhm.
time, life is like that, and we won't have the opportunity to do it again, even less together. So we try to embrace the whole thing even when sometimes it's difficult, but one day this will be over, and all that remain will be like good memories and all these experiences, and we will have time to do other things. So yeah, I embrace it, and I'm grateful overall.
Well, but the music is forever. The music will forever be out there, which is what's a really cool extra component of that. You have some pretty big festivals coming up. Who are either in the past or in the future have you or are you the most excited to play with?
Like bands.
Mhm.
Yeah, myself that's a hard question. I have already played with many of my favorite musicians, like with
In Flames.
Obscura. Obscura
Yeah.
is one of my favorite bands, and Christian Mudner was there, and he's one of my favorite guitar players. So I
Oh,
was so happy about it. But yeah, there are many. I don't know. Without going like crazy, like of course, like huge names, like I don't know, the big Megadeth and things like that. That bands that were in my teenage years. There are many bands that I like that if the possibility is there, in like Cynic, for example. Cynic would be one of the best band for me to tour with. Like it's a huge fan. In Flames, for example, would be like something like huge for me. I'm a huge fan as well. I
yeah.
mean, something like that. And all the Dark Tranquility as well. All the
Yeah.
Swedish. You know, personally, I will go happy to play with some of those bands that I've been a fan for a long time.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it did happen in the long run. You guys are definitely making more and more um momentum and fans along the way. We talked about In Flames last time, so I think you were wearing an In Flames shirt. What did you think about their last album?
Of In Flames.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was the Spotify rap every year. It
It
was
was my
my most listened album of the year. That's what I think.
Yeah, it was great. I agree. Okay, so
They
back
they
to What's
Yeah,
that?
yeah. But I was about to say that they part ways with the guitar player, and they have now Chris Broderick, which is a monster guitar player. But I'm a little bit disappointed because I thought I would be like a great adapt to the band, and they never called. So yeah, but I'm happy
Oh
anyway.
gosh, you would have been too. I 100% agree. You definitely have the same feel in your playing. Oh, they made a mistake.
And I have this tattoo, which is very similar to Bjorn. So it will be like we match a little bit. But
Right. Be
he
twins.
has a huge arm, and I have this little, you know.
Oh, yeah. That well, that would be cool. I hope in the long run you guys do get that opportunity because it makes sense. The music melodically, the type of music, the styles of music makes sense, that you guys would
Yes.
be on the same bill. So back to the album. Tell me about the self-titled song. It's such a beautiful song. You have some like kind of choir type harmonizing at the beginning of it. There's so many different shifts. It's such a journey of a song. Tell me about that one.
Lingua Ignora, like the song, is maybe the most old school thing we've done in a while.
Mhm.
Because when we did we have done a lot of albums, and one of our huge influences when we were very very young, it was Opeth, of course, you know.
Mhm.
And we were learning how to create music, you know, on the go. You know, we did one album with all the influences, and then on the second one we used all the acoustic thing and the you know, the 3/4 bar and time signature, and that sounded so open. And then when the second album came out, everyone was like comparing us with them, and I went sick about it. So I tell to the guys, we will never ever use an acoustic guitar again, and we will never ever use the 3/4 bar again. And we did until today. And that song I did it again. I thought that 20 years was long enough, you know.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, and to me it sounds kind of an old school, it has an old school vibe. It's very direct, even when it have these ambient parts as well. And it's very fun to play live. I think people will enjoy it because it has everything in there. It's like the most complex song in the EP, in
Yeah.
my opinion.
I agree. I agree. And even including the lyrics to it, it has such a beautiful message, as again, you guys always do. But that one in particular, I feel like has a really good message. And because you have some like repeats towards the end, I really
Yes,
hope it's something that some people
we are.
really
Yes.
listen to and
Yes.
latch on to.
We'll see. Sometimes people after the shows they came to us, and then they like to talk about stuff that they listen to the lyrics. And even sometimes people bring us things like, I don't know, one fan was like a Buddhist, and he brought to me a collar or something like that, or a book, you know,
Mm.
and then we discuss stuff, and it's a beautiful thing. And some people says that they meditate with the music at home or something like that. In fact, in one show I think it was in Paris years ago, in the middle of one song, I think it was Spiritual Migration. We were playing that one, and in the central part, you know, with the tapping, and then there was one guy in the middle of the venue meditating on the floor,
Oh, wow.
and the rest of the people was doing this circle very respectfully to let him have his
Oh.
space. I was beautiful. I was playing. I was like amazed. Like this is powerful to see. You know, it was a beautiful thing.
Wow, you should reenact that in one of your guys' videos.
Yeah, maybe. At
Because
that
that
moment, I
is,
was very, very busy playing the part, trying not to get lost.
but still, it's a pretty powerful message.
Yeah, definitely.
Um, when people are coming up to you afterwards and discussing, what the music means to them or how they feel about your lyrics, are there ever times of where it feels, because they are such deep lyrics, that it feels heavy for you guys and it's like, um almost like a therapy session for you guys, to where you're like having to therapize these fans.
A little bit. When I always say that you do the music and you write the lyrics, and then you release it, and then after you release all of that, is not yours anymore. That's my
Mhm,
thing.
mhm,
That's the way I feel about it, because over the years I've seen that people react to the music in a way that I cannot predict, you know, into the
mhm.
lyrics. They feel about it in a personal way. So we as a band, we just try to do our best to create this piece of music and to make it coherent with the message. And then after that, it's beautiful because every time someone come to us and talk about, I don't know, the lyrical content or whatever, me myself, if I have written one part and we are talking about that part, I used to learn a lot from the fans as well, because they give that part another different point of view, and it's very real for him or for her. And for me, maybe it was not that, that it was not the way that I wanted to give the meaning, but somehow that's a beautiful thing. It's not yours anymore, it's theirs. So it's everything is welcome when it comes to that.
I love that viewpoint. I think that's some people are very personal about their lyrics, which is completely understandable. It should be a personal thing, or for some bands it is a personal thing. But it's like the misinterpretation sometimes not necessarily are frustrating for some people, but I think they're like, oh, you missed the point, where you guys don't do that. I love that that's your philosophy on it. Like, now this gets to be yours.
Yeah, I think definitely it's like me as a fan, it's the same. Probably when I have the chills, listening to other people's music, maybe it's not the part that they expected me to have the chills,
Yeah.
and that's a beautiful thing, and it all depends on your moment in life, and how you feel about your own life when you have all these inputs, and it's very real for you. So if maybe the musician that did that music doesn't feel the same way as you with the same music, and it's real, but it's also real that I feel that way. So you have to respect that.
Yeah, I agree. So now that you've released the one song and seen how Danny's getting positive feedback, are you
Yes.
feeling less nervous about releasing the rest of it next Friday?
No, at all.
Well, not at
Especially
all.
because you have listened to the whole thing, of course,
Hmm.
and the next song that is coming out is maybe not the thing that people will expect. So no, I'm not. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm
Oh,
no. I don't know. I
so
like it
beautiful
a
though.
lot. I think it's a
Yeah.
beautiful song. We just wanted to be brave with that. We talk about it. Let's try to, as I say always, for us, bravery is not do the thing that we've been doing forever, like layers of complexity over layers of complexity on the music and notes and notes. That's the comfortable thing. That's not brave for us. For us, the brave thing to do is to, take out many of the notes and then try to focus on
Uh,
the melody and the vocals and make a piece of music. So we tried that, and we don't know if we knew how to do that, but it's
mm.
there, and it's the second. It will be the second single of the EP, and like some weeks ago, I was trying to fight everyone to change it for lingua nota. So so completely unconfident about it, but it was too
Oh,
late. It was too
no,
late.
I think it's gonna go. I mean, it obviously it's easier to see on the outside than on the inside, but I think it's gonna go over really well. The whole EP is such a beautiful. I mean, you guys just get better and better, and it's just incredible with it still being Persephone, but you have these different like evolutions of it. And it's just incredible. You do have some slower parts throughout the album, but I think that just breathes even that much more life into it. I would be surprised if you had any pullback from the fans on it.
We'll see.
I think
We'll
it's
see.
gonna go over well.
I try not to read too much comments and like stuff like that. I try not to, because I don't know, it's too much. I mean,
I get it. I went
not,
through and read a bunch of them, and I mean, I don't even know if I saw anything negative like that, people that are just, of course, anytime you change a vocalist, people are a
yeah.
little hesitant, but I don't think there's much hesitancy at all. And I think it's gonna go over much better than probably
We'll
what it
see.
feels. I'm
Let's,
gonna I'm gonna reach out to you after
let's
Friday
let's talk
because
about
I'll
that
be
after, okay?
curious.
We'll have some messaging about that, and we'll see, okay? But
Yes,
you
yeah.
you look at the comments yourself, and then you tell me. So so
Yeah,
I know.
yeah. Yeah, there we go. I'll keep you
Okay?
updated
And
on
you
what
know,
I
like
read.
it's
No,
going
I
well.
think
So thank you, Nika.
and you're like, if I don't hear from her, then that's not a good sign.
Yeah,
Just
just don't
kidding.
say anything. I will be
No, I
like, oh
don't
my God,
think you have anything to worry about. It's
we'll see.
it's such an incredible album on so many different layers, so many different aspects of it. I just don't see music lovers, especially Persephone music lovers, to have any complaints. I would be shocked. I'm really excited to see what part two is going to be, and I know that and I
Me
and
too.
I love your viewpoint too on the growth and the evolution of your band. That's such a you guys thing to say and do. You're such a humble group of people, and it's that's one of my favorite things about talking with you is the humbleness and the um wanting to continue to grow yourself as not only individuals but as a band. It's not something that I think a lot of bands talk about or maybe even think about. I don't know, you know.
I don't know. I don't know. The fact is that we are isolated here, you know, and the point, the way we see things are very honest, I think, and we don't care about talking, you know, honestly about anything and failures and good moments and bad moments, because at the end of the day, if some little kid will listen to this interview, I want the person to feel like I'm the same as that guy. I like guitar and I feel the same. You know, it's not when I was very young, it was like everyone was a superstar.
Yeah, right.
And you know, the first time I saw, I think it was I am a huge fan of Paul Gilbert from, you know, Mr. Big and all that stuff. And I remember the
Mhm.
first interview, he was so nice with everyone, so, you know, easy to relate, that I felt like maybe I can be a musician myself if I'm not like a, you know, alpha, you know, super duper whatever. So I hope that if someone sees that or sees watch us play or talk with us and feels a little bit inspired about it, that I think that's the ultimate goal.
I love that. I love that that's something that you guys think so much about and try so hard to put into all elements of you guys. I agree, you know, I growing up with when I listened to you know, obviously back then it was harder to find all the music, you know, you had to go to the CD stores and guess sometimes. I
Yeah,
hope that you ended up getting
I
service, you
remember.
know, because
I do remember.
yeah, and so the little bit that you saw of interviews and stuff, it did feel like it was the bigger bands and it did feel like they were usually larger than life. So I love that. I love that you
Yeah,
are wanting
time has
to.
time have changed definitely.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Well, thank you so much. I know you have other interviews coming up. It's so great
Yes,
to
yes,
talk with
today's
you again,
busy.
Carlos. I
Very
hope
busy.
that you have
Anytime, anytime.
awesome.
And we will be on tour. I don't know if you will be around, but if you want to come to any show, you are more than
I
requested.
will
Okay?
absolutely be one of your shows if you guys end up coming to Idaho.
Nice. That will be
Yeah.
beautiful. Okay.
Yes. Have
Thank
a
you very,
great
very
rest of
much.
your day.
Take care. Okay.
Yeah.
Good,
Bye.
Monica. Bye bye.